Welcome to the Neijiaquan podcast. This is a sample of our latest Patreon episode where we're discussing the Ludong Bean 100 character tablet from Baiwa's book. This is verse 9 where we're discussing the forming of the Dan. Hope you enjoy it. You can go to our Patreon to hear the whole episode as well as all our interviews and extra bonus content. So again, enjoy it. Thanks for listening and take care of yourselves.
In this system, we start with opening the energy gates where you dissolve to sort of wash away the stuck points in your system. And we did a whole season on that topic. But in the end, in that process, you really dissolve the lower dantian until you can get your mind to really feel that area. Then you do stuff like cloud hands, which are all where the limbs are rotating and coming in and out from the lower dantian. So again, your brain sort of starts to link to that area. Then you do the swings, which your hands actually physically tap the lower than the middle and the upper dantians in a sense, although he calls it working with the jiao in that case. But it's the same idea. The first swing is to bring energies by lightly touching your body at the level of the lower dantian. So you're physically getting in connection with it. So it's a very raw process, at least in the way Kumar teaches it at the beginning, where you're physically touching it. You're bringing your brain into it. It's just like everything that you're doing is concentrating some of your awareness in that area.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it in this. It's the swings is the most obvious. You got the first is the lower, the second's the middle, and the third's the upper, right? But that's a little bit different. That's more getting your energy to move in a general flow through stuff is different than like going into a single point and moving from that point or doing things inside of that point. So there's like, when you're doing it in energy gates, you're connecting to you're activating these other points, but it's always coming back to your lower dantian, right? So, it's still about the physical part, right? Basically, that you're using, you're waking up the other stuff, but you're always kind of bringing it back to the lower because it's really about the lower. So it's about connecting your arms and legs to your spine, to each other, and your dantian being the physical center of all that. When you start getting into working with dantians, it's like you're shifting the control point essentially. So it's like, instead of it being from your lower dantian, it's going to be from your middle or your upper, right? Which is going to dramatically change both like your movement and your intent, sort of like. So when you're doing things with emotions, right? A lot of that's going to happen in the middle dantian because that's the one that connects you to other things, other living things. When you start getting into, death and dying and spiritual stuff, that's the upper, right? So, again, it's kind of a hierarchy. Like you can't really avoid it in a sense because it's there, but it's a refinement process too. Like you're moving through these stages, right? So again, at first your dantian is just going to be this point in your body where you feel stable. Then it's going to be, I can actually feel like a ball there. And then it's going to be, I can feel all the rest of my body connecting to that point, and then you can feel all of the channels going in and out of that point, right? And then that's kind of just like, for example, the thing that we refer to as the spiraling energy body, the name.
So the spiraling energy body qigong set relates to this.
It's referring to, once you've connected everything to your lower dantian, you now have a spiraling energy body.
So now your energy body is spiraling, but
you're not just a flaccid or passive energy body, right? It's like
energy gates it's structured, but it's very calm and quiet and washed out.
Well, energy gates is the cities. It's the points along, right? You're clearing out all of the big gates, the big they used to sometimes refer to they translated it as locks, like channel locks, right? It's like you have
barges going up canals into the channel, right? Locks.
So you have these big places where you have to unlock that space for it to connect to the larger flow, right? So
right.
All of these energy gates, as we call them, are just little places along these pathways, right? So when you're doing opening the energy, I mean, it's right there in the name, right?
Right.
You're working on the points. You're clearing all of the single spots, right? Spiraling energy body, you start connecting the spots. What are you connecting all the spots to? Your lower Danya, right? And then
and chi is what you're connecting them with.
Yeah,
spiraling motion.
Well, that gets to the phrase about when the chi comes back, right? Chi is your, that's your first and second energy bodies, right?
Sort of when the chi returns could be stated as when you get your chi flowing properly without all the blockages and breaks and kinks, the pill is then formed.
Yeah, essentially when you have, it's kind of the same thing. Like when you have your spiraling energy body, now you have your pill.
Right. I mean, you could break this down to, as the chi returns, the pill is formed, could say, first you train opening the energy gates, then you form the pill with the spiraling energy body.
Pretty much.